So how many of you are passionate about speaking? Passionate about speaking. You speak at every Toastmasters Club that you can find. It's like every day you're at Toastmasters. So I have a certain respect for this logo over here, and I do believe that every single one of us has got an opportunity. It's an unprecedented opportunity. Because when I first heard about the Toastmasters Club, it was this guy on stage and he was going on. He seemed quite professional. I got drawn to the idea of being a Toastmaster, and so I joined. It was a platform for me to grow. Okay, but one of the things that I want you to understand is that in all my life, speaking has been my biggest nemesis. Right? When I was in primary school, my form teacher couldn't hear who I was, didn't know who I was. That in the middle of that semester, she asked me whether I was a transfer student. I was so quiet that some people say that I was born with stealth mode. Right? So it's a wonder nobody actually asked me to go and draft myself into the Air Force or something like that. But one of the key things is this, and as I grew older, I discovered what was important in communication. Now, if I were to bare my heart and soul to you, I can tell you this. The first few presentations that I had were actually very, very difficult presentations to make. Okay, how many of you are with me on this? Your first couple of presentations were tough, right? And if you understand where that's coming from, it just doesn't get any easier. I can tell you this, every corporate audience that I go to, every speech that I have to make, I go through the same sequence of, am I good enough? Is this the audience for me? Am I capable of handling it? The night before, I'll start having rumbling in my stomach, and I go to the toilet just to release myself from whatever tension. They call it irritable bowel syndrome, right? Any of you have that? Before a presentation, you have to go to the washroom, kind of like look at yourself, psych yourself up, and so on. Table topics, in my opinion, is one of the critical things in any kind of presentation. I would even deem today as, I was asked by Jeffreth and even Vincent what I'll exactly be presenting. And I said, if in the spirit of table topics, why don't I just make the entire hour a table topic? And see what happens. See how much you can learn from it. So, from where I have been and where I am right now, it is complete polar opposites, if you understand where I'm coming from. From a kid who couldn't express himself, from a teenager who was somebody who was supposed to be a leader but couldn't hold the attention of people. I grew up with a fear that people will walk out those doors. I grew up with a fear that people would just listen to one or two sentences and then they'll be like, whatever, and then they'll walk out. Because that's exactly what happened to me as a teenager.